I'm sorry, Jack. I did start the show, but I am laughing because you're right. We have a way of pissing people off.
Oh,
Good.
it's a talent.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not supposed to call them ladies anymore. I learned that today.
Yes.
But welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hello, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how are you this wonderful eve?
Yeah, same old, same old.
Yeah, me too. Nothing I really want to complain about. I'm happy, which is always a good thing, and I'm going to stick with that because, look, guys, no matter what you're going through, I promise you, life is easier if you're happy. So find things that make you happy and stick with that shit. A little life lesson at the beginning of the show tonight, Jack.
It's true.
And it actually is really good advice. Everything's a lot easier to deal with when you got a smile on your face. Oh, God, I don't even know where to begin tonight.
I would argue not everything.
I think everything.
No, I don't know. You're in a park. It's like 11 o'clock at night. You're getting out. You're going to go take a piss, getting ready to leave. Some chick happens to walk by, sees you in the bushes, and you grin at her. That's not going to go well.
No, I didn't say you had to grin. I just said you had to be happy. And getting arrested in that situation is probably better if you're happy. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. Do you really want to be the guy and sitting in the jail cell being all happy? And they're like, what are you in for? Stalking some chick in the park.
Again, I mean, as long as you're getting beat up in that jail cell is probably better if you're happy.
I don't know.
I'm sticking with my theory. Anyway, they want to know what were you making to eat before I sent you the link?
I actually already ate, although I am hungry because I haven't eaten in a few hours.
Well, there you go. I stopped him from eating today.
Yeah, I'm not going to eat anything else today. I'm low on food, so culling the reserves till payday.
Shroom says, for the Al Gore rhythm, I appreciate that. And actually, we've been doing quite well over there on the Rumble. Thank you guys so much who've been hanging out, watching us over there. We really do appreciate it. Just like we appreciate everybody who comes in and hangs out and watches the show with us.
True. Doesn't matter what platform, as long as you're watching.
Indeed. And telling your friends about it. We've got a lot of stupid shit to talk about tonight. I took last night off, guys, and there was no real major reason for it. Jack, I had a pain in my leg that didn't stop me from doing it, but it was enough that I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just taking a night off.
That's probably a blood clot.
Probably moving its way up through my heart, which that'll be fine. My heart's strong. It'll push it through.
Sure.
But I get onto the internet today, and the first thing I run into is Owen Benjamin trying to convince people that the world is flat. And I was reading his arguments, and they just get dumber and dumber as the day goes on, culminating in him saying, hey, if you took a child and you raised them out in nature, would they come to the conclusion that they're on a spinning ball?
Maybe.
What
does that have to do with science? Like,
it is the Tarzan
discovery.
The Tarzan flat Earth theory is what I have dubbed it. And
yes, but look, Tarzan wasn't retarded. I don't know if you were like, look, this is what it looks like from outside. It's spherical. And you'd be like, all right, why does that matter to my jungle?
I just think that was the greatest argument ever. Like, hey, if you had people that had no scientific knowledge whatsoever and you asked them, would they think it was a ball? Probably not. And that's probably why humans for a long time didn't think it was a ball, Jack, until we were able to share knowledge more and more and get smarter.
Invented mathematics. And
yeah.
That same person probably couldn't paint you a picture, yet art still exists.
That's what I was greeted with coming onto Twitter today. I'm like, I should just turn this shit off, take another day off, and play video games. Which I didn't do because you know how much I love my dumpster fire that is Twitter.
Well, yeah, it's kind of hard to look away sometimes.
Owen posts this 10-minute video where he's like, hey, look, it is not up to me to prove that the earth is flat. It is up to those who say that the earth is round to prove that the earth is, spherical, that it's spherical because
he made the argument.
Wait, hang on. I hear you. But this is the funny part about that. This is what he said, because they're the ones who are making the argument that it's spherical. So it's up to them to prove it.
Well,
And he said, I don't have to prove that it's flat. They have to prove it because they're making the claim.
he's making the claim that it's not spherical. If it's a cube or something, he needs to demonstrate that somehow.
Oh, well, he's got the perfect proof. It's the Nikon PS 900 or whatever the hell it is, the infinite zoom camera. Do you know about this stuff?
That's because you can't see the curve of the earth. It doesn't curve.
Well, if you zoom way in, you can see ships, but they don't curve off the edge.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
True story. And
oh, this has been debunked like 1,000 times. Does he understand what perception is?
No. He also doesn't seem to understand that if you're standing up on a dune filming the water, that you're not actually at the same height as that level water, that it's supposed to be level, so that you're actually looking downwards. Yeah, it's the same old ridiculous flat earth shit. And I was laughing at him. I really was. I can't help it because, I mean, when you come out there and say, hey, if you make a claim, you have to prove it, but I don't have to prove the claim I just made, I can't help but laugh at you.
I didn't realize he was this stupid.
Well, here's the thing, and I had to correct somebody, and if you're listening, I do mean correct you, because they said there's no reason to listen to anything Owen Benjamin says, because I said in his video, it's a 10-minute video, Jack, he does say some things that make sense. And this person was like, no, he doesn't say anything that makes sense. You can't treat somebody like that as though they never have any points, because what's going to happen is the third party who's listening along, they'll see Owen say something like, hey, 2 + 2 is 4. Well, he literally just said something that's true. And you said he never says anything is true. You just proved yourself a liar.
Yeah, you look like you're disingenuous.
You make it look like, hey, wait, maybe Owen has more points I should be listening to. And it's the Andrew Tate thing. Andrew Tate says some things that right, and then he says some stuff that's really fucking stupid. And you have to acknowledge that sometimes dumb people say smart things. Otherwise, all you're doing is telling people that you're a liar, or that you're so indoctrinated into your side that you're unwilling to listen to literally anything anyone else says.
Yeah, look, I don't agree with Anna Kasparian all the time, but every now and then she'll get something right accidentally.
Yeah. And if she does, and you're like, she never says anything right, and somebody is like on the fence, wait a minute, she said this and it's right, they're going to start going and listening to Anna more. Thank you, Travis Gardner. If you plagiarize anything, oh my fucking God, that story.
What did he say? You kind of audio ducked.
Thank you, Travis Gardner. He said, but did he plagiarize anything? Thank you for the donation. Oh, God. So I didn't even know about this story. It actually happened a couple of days ago and culminated today. This chick, Illuminati, with naughty spelled naughty, like, ooh,
Illuminati, get it? Yeah, it's funny.
One of these fucking retarded bread tubers comes out and accuses Legal Eagles of plagiarizing them. Yeah. And you want to know the plagiarism?
Sure.
Okay, so one of Legal Eagle's moderators or editors reaches out to Illuminati and says, hey, I see this one thing you guys are doing with After Effects. What plugin are you using there? I was interested in using it. And this leads Illuminati to come out and say, they're plagiarizing us. And then shows a picture, side-by-side pictures of Illuminati's video, right? Where there's a background and it looks like there's a ripped paper sitting on top of it. And then Legal Eagle had that same thing. And then my favorite, and I'm not making this up, how Illuminati had put a like a text file on screen, so it looks like paper, and it highlighted some of the words. and so did Legal Eagles.
So they're both talking about a similar thing, and it highlighted that text.
They weren't even talking about the same thing. It's the style, the highlighting of text. Apparently, Illuminati created. They're the first person to ever fucking do it. They're not that old.
What?
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
That's even dumber than I expected. They
was
copied
fucking
off
dumb.
us. At least give us credit for it.
Well, then some other bread tubers popped out and was like, if I was going to say plagiarism, I would point out something like somebody using entire parts of someone else's script and shows Illuminati doing that.
Ha! Real quick, let me grab a couple things. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Come on now, you guys aren't Globus, right? The Earth is, of course, shaped like a velociraptor. This is basic science. Dinosaur Earth for the win. That's true, but it's only shaped like a velociraptor because of the cloud people.
It's a velociraptor in its egg.
Yeah. It when it hatches, it's gonna be scary. And thank you, Mowgli. That motherfucker Tarzan always gets the spotlight, but honestly, for flat Earth theory, he can have it. Now it's time to dance with King Louie, the OG Orange Man bad. That's a good point, Mowgli. I forgot about King Louie.
In fairness, I did call it Mowgli's rounder theory. So you got your props. I just didn't mention it yet here. See, this is why people like Tarzan more than you whiny bitch.
Well, to be fair, the Phantom knew the Earth was round, and he hangs out in the jungle all the time.
So anyway, yeah, these bread tubers at each other's throats, and it's funny. So the girl comes out, she's like, I didn't plagiarize. It was 3 years ago, and at that time, I just didn't have the style right. If you look, I even put half of a sentence on screen in quotes. I'm not making that shit up. And in my sources, I sourced the original.
Oh my god.
But you didn't give them any credit on screen. You didn't say that you were quoting them on screen. And in fact, you changed a couple of the words. You know how you, like when you're in class and you're a 12-year-old and they're like, okay, we need you to go write a report. Make sure you put it all in your own words. And so the sentence is like, they went to the beach, and you're like, several of them went to the beach. It's clearly what was done here. It's like, no, I wasn't trying to pass it off as my own. Go fuck yourself. But the best part of her response video, Jack, is she spends like 10, maybe 15 minutes on that. And then the rest of this almost hour-long video is her just calling people pedophiles and bad people and deadbeats.
Well, that sounds productive.
Yeah, it's funny as shit. It was wonderful.
Real quick, thank you, Travis Gardner. Earth has to be round. How could it be hollow if it wasn't? That's a good point. Unless you're digging down to the bottom of the terrarium.
Indeed. And they just hit that glass.
Yeah. There was a Twilight Zone episode that I always think of when people say the Earth's flat, but it's still hollow. There's weird crossover there. There was an episode where these people were trapped in this house, and they dig up the floor, and there's a logo on the bottom of the floor, and it turns out they're all dolls living in a dollhouse. And that's what I think of, is they're going to get to the bottom of the terrarium, and they're going to find the logo for the people that made the terrarium.
Huh.
And then they'll see God's dog.
JB said that escalated quickly. It really, I was blown away. I had no idea where the fuck the whole kitty touching and all that. Wow. I totally, truly believe you weren't plagiarizing now, and that's where you go from there.
Well, bread tubers are very reactionary people, so
yeah. If you guys are interested in it, go to just type in Illuminati with naughty spelled like, oh, you're so naughty. And I think it's 2 eyes at the beginning. Yeah, it's all over Twitter. It blew up really bad. You can go to their channel too. It's also bad. But
people are dumb.
If you like drama like I do, it's great. It was fucking funny as shit. Frosted Glass, thank you so much. I'm not round, but I'm still hollow inside. Like a
That's just
chocolate Easter bunny.
no, that's the emptiness from the lack of love. We love you, Frosted. Don't feel hollow inside.
Simon says it's easier to be happy when you're not in pain. Oh, I don't remember, to be honest with you. But even before I had my pain all the time, Jack, I sought to be a happy person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always tried to be happy.
Look,
All right.
going through life like a miserable prick isn't very entertaining, and people don't like you for that.
Now, there's several things I want to cover before we get to the main topic tonight.
Okay.
We will get to the Elon thing. Goes to Walks, thank you so much. Oh no, Jack, keep me out of this flat versus round bullshit.
Oh,
there you go.
No, Phantom, you're involved whether you like it or not.
Travis, thanks for dropping the link to that. I'm guessing that's Illuminati's video. Oh God, it's so stupid.
How I have that Christina Aguilera song "Naughty" stuck in my head.
I don't know that song.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I just made an Illuminati twist on it. So
I'm not a big Christina fan. Walmart with Britney Spears just never did it for me.
Yeah, me either. Like, she was kind of cute at first, but you could tell that as she's aging, she's still an Italian woman. So she's going to swell slowly or all at once, but she's going to balloon out. And she did. And she had a couple of songs that were hits that were on the radio all the time. So I'm vaguely familiar with them. And she's an ex-Disney kid, so they all kind of go crazy. So, yeah, it was just kind of predictable. But that song, Naughty's kind of catchy.
Yeah.
It's not Britney Spears' Toxic catchy, but it is kind of catchy.
Yeah, when you said Naughty, my brain immediately went to Toxic. So, yeah, I have
that's
idea.
a much more Naughty video.
Now, we got some what's the word here? Update, I guess.
Yes.
Although escalation is probably a better word.
Yeah.
On the Steven Crowder front, which, by the way, is winning us friends and influence all over the internet, Jack.
Oh, it's called Dirty, not Naughty. My bad. Whatever.
There you go.
That's how much I pay attention. Yeah, we have won negative amounts of friends. It's amazing. We really have.
It's wonderful. And you know what? I really don't give a fuck. I stood by Steven through a lot. This one, nope, you fucked up and you're doubling down now. He came out with a statement. All right, I want to talk before we get into this, Jack. I want to talk about how you and I discussed. I don't think we actually did it on air. I think we did it after we were done, where we went into detail what we thought if he was going to say anything, which I commented. Don't think he should have said anything. But if he was going to, how that probably should have sounded.
Yeah. I think we did that off air, yeah.
Yeah, and here's my take, and you can give yours as well. But my take was, this is a personal matter. I'm not going to discuss it any further. The end. It's nobody else's business. It's a personal matter. The end. That's it. There's no reason to say anything else.
Yeah. Should be like, for the sake of our kids and our privacy, I'm not going to. I don't want to respond to this. It's beneath me. We're just going to let the courts sort this out. Or alternately, you could go the complete opposite route. But first, thank you, RJ. What do you call a boom club that reads the same book for years? Church, of course. Yeah, they do read the same book. Although there's only been one sequel to that first book, and that was the New Testament. And then they didn't have any sequels after that.
Danger says you got negative friends, so no one told you life was going to be this way. No. Everybody told us life was going to be this way. We've been told many times to keep or at least I'm guessing for you, Jack. I know I have. Frank, just shut up.
Oh my God, all the time. People are always like, Frank, shut up. And I'm like, who the fuck is Frank? Now I know. They were telling me to tell you to shut up because obviously they didn't mean it for me. Even though they pronounced your name wrong and they're like, Jack, shut up. No. I one time made a girl cry at work because I pointed out that her boyfriend opened a credit card to buy a computer, but he wouldn't do that to buy her a wedding ring after 10 years.
Oh.
And I didn't think about that. I thought that was like the obvious thing. Be like, you could have done that to get you a ring. And then she's like, I have to go to the back room. And then she went in the back room and cried. And one of the managers came up and started hitting me with stuff. So I was like, what?
But you didn't do anything wrong. I understand because, yeah, I have the same problem.
Yeah. It's like, in my head, after I said it, I'm like, probably shouldn't have told her that. Oh, well, what could be the worst that could happen?
She had to have thought it. Come on.
I don't know. Everybody apparently was trying to avoid it all day.
You said they were together 10 years. At that point, she might have been like, oh, maybe this just isn't happening. She had already accepted it, you know?
I would hope so, but I don't know. Last I heard, they were still together.
Probably. I mean, there's guys who just stay with a woman forever.
Well, if you don't have to pay for the milk, you know.
Well, when I worked at the shop, the middle son of the shop owner, and he turned it over to them. And me and him hated each other because he was a douchebag. But he'd been with his chick for like since high school. And at this point, he's in his mid-30s. And people kept asking her, like, when are you guys getting married? And she would just get really quiet. Eventually, he did finally pop the question, and they had a little baby. And I imagine he'll grow up to be an asshole like his father.
Probably.
God of Cheese, thank you. I'm behind, just starting now. Love you both. Take money. I absolutely will. Thank you so much. All right,
Frosted said they're still together. Better remind her about that. Psh, if she were still allowed to talk to me, yeah.
She knows.
Yeah. I have a habit of being memorable. Anyway.
All right. Crowder here. He's going to let's just play it.
I commented on my ongoing divorce on Tuesday, requesting privacy in the best interest of the family, but also by court order agreed upon by all parties.
All right.
All parties, you mean both?
So you commented on your divorce and asked for privacy as agreed upon by all parties. The divorce that you talked about.
Yeah, the one that you said you weren't going to talk about, and then you talked
by court order. By court order, he said.
By court order, yeah.
And agreed to by all parties.
Both of you.
Yeah. I love that all parties thing. Like there's like 6 or 7 people involved.
Yeah. Well, you know his lawyer made him say that.
Look, broken marriages are ugly, and in them people do ugly things. Myself, of course included. I would never claim otherwise.
And that's fine. That's true. And there's tons of times you can be recorded, Jack, that if people saw it, they'd be like, oh my God, what a horrible person. And it's just a bad moment for you.
Oh, yeah, I say awful shit all the time, but I accept who I am.
Well, this is why I wanted to be so clear, and I said it over and over, that there's no actual accusations of physical abuse.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of people, oh, this shows no, there's been none of that, so stop. But let's just...
However, due to recent misleadingly edited leaks to the tabloid press...
Misleading. Like, I don't want a divorce. My wife is getting it, and the state is letting her, or 3 variations of that. Meanwhile, you were the one who went to the divorce lawyer first.
Look, that's a hate fact. Also, the fact that when he says all parties agreed, it implies that the person who leaked it agreed to that as well. And we have no evidence that his wife did. The guy that reported it said it was a member of the family.
Yes.
So anybody could have done that.
Without context and not subject to consequences of the court.
I do want to put a little context in there. During that thing, if you look at the video, it says it was taped on 6/26 of 2021. On 6/23, 3 days earlier, he announced to the world that he had a collapsed lung. So I went a little hard on him for not going to the store himself, which he could have done before he had a collapsed lung, you piece of shit. But in fairness to him, I understand him not going to the store that day, Jack. What I don't understand is why his wife wasn't allowed to use the car.
Well, he even said he might want to go somewhere to the gym. If you have a
Hmm.
collapsed lung, you're not going to the fucking
Actually,
gym.
What he said is, I can't go, which if he had the collapsed lung would account for him not being able to go.
I suppose. I don't know.
Why couldn't she use the car?
Well, he said no. She didn't learn discipline and respect much.
Right. And also, that has nothing to do with you saying, I don't love you.
Well, maybe he was talking to his collapsed lung.
Well, if not privacy, the next best option is truth. So today, I have filed a motion to officially
Wait for it.
unseal all files as they relate to the matter of legal record,
Wait for it.
finances, relevant medical records, including mental health history or evaluations.
What a dirty motherfucker.
I'm going to dump everything out.
What a dirty motherfucker. Including all mental health and mental evaluations. Really? This motherfucker just came out and went, the bitch is crazy.
Yeah, it's a dirty. It's making.
Wow.
Look, you're dumping out all your personal business out like it's a gym bag full of filthy clothes. And this shit's going to haunt your kids forever. Because you're celebrities, you're controversial. Your kids are going to constantly be targets of people that don't like you. And now this shit gets thrown in their face forever. I think that's really dirty.
Just shut the fuck up. This is such an underhanded, dirty fucking way. Why didn't you just come out and call her mentally ill, you fucking pussy?
Well, it's a roundabout way of implying it without directly stating it, because then he'd get in trouble with the court.
Yeah, because if he says she's insane and there's nothing there, then yeah, there's defamation. Because he's a public figure, she is not.
Yeah.
Positions.
Go ahead.
He also has a much larger platform, so he can, get this out, all the negative stuff out there a lot easier than she can.
I have a bigger platform than she does. She doesn't have one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So anything he says is going to be reaching millions and millions of people.
Any motions or sanctions from the courts of Texas. I will not be leaking private marital information to the press, but if the privacy agreements are not respected by all parties, I will address all that is a matter of irrefutable legal record in full context next week.
You're going to dump out medical records, but not personal shit.
Nothing personal.
The fuck you talking about?
What a petty piece of shit. Holy fuck, dude. This was your wife. This is the mother of your children, you piece of shit.
I think that's what bothers me the most, is that the kids are going to have to deal with this their entire lives.
Well, remember, he was the kids in that first video on Tuesday. My kids. This is going to affect my kids. By the way, kids, your mother's fucking insane. Oh,
yeah, by the way, that's a crazy bitch who shouldn't have custody. Real quick. Thank you, sir, Adamantine, for the generous donation. Crowder's a dirtball. Not gay Jared has been sending out tweets supporting Crowder's wife, Ann Landau. That says a lot. I don't know enough about the dynamics of that show, but I thought Not Gay Jared and him were like really good friends, and then apparently that guy just like disappeared off the face of the earth.
Something happened. Rumor has it that when they went to the Blaze wasn't giving him money for Jared, which is really weird because instead of having his one producer, they ended up having 3 on set with 2 other talents on set. I don't know. Something happened with Jared. Jared went away, and he's been very cagey about talking about it.
Well, he's probably got an NDA.
I'm sure he did. He probably, when he left, got some kind of if you go by what Landau said, he was probably offered a chunk of money to keep here's some money, shut up.
Yeah, severance package so that he shut up. That's very common.
But anyway, there's the update. Seriously, what he could even come out and look, I don't like what just happened there. I think it's horrible. I think it's underhanded, but I'm not going to engage in this. I'm not speaking about my divorce any further. The end. Don't ask me about it. I'm not talking about it. I'm trying to protect my family. Like he said on Tuesday, I'm trying to protect my family. I do not want to talk about this. I'm gonna get all the dirt. I'm gonna get her medical files. her medical and psychological files.
Because somebody that wasn't her gave a video file to a reporter. That's it. I'm going to destroy your life ruination. This is shit Ethan Ralph would do.
Yes. It's exactly.
Act like a grown up. Look, if he had just said, look, what came out put me in a bad light. It's not the full context. It'll be addressed in court. I'd rather not talk about it anymore. And just ignore comments and stuff like that. The court would look a lot better on that. This video, if she plays this in front of the judge, is going to look vindictive as all hell. He's targeting her for something she didn't do. And the judge is not going to look very favorably on that. He's a control freak that's spiraling, I think.
What he should have done, if he's going to address that, like, look, guys, you're right. That was horrible behavior. I'm not proud of it. I apologize as many times as I could. At the time, I apologize again. It was a horrible moment for me, but it's not the entire story. But that story's not for you, and I'm not going to have it out here.
Yeah,
there you go.
Stupid. This is just going to get dumber, I'm afraid.
Dude, Crowder, I know your people listen to the show, so here, shut the fuck up, dude. Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's not helping you. And he's creating the Streisand effect. The more he talks about this, the more he tries to control the narrative, the worse it's going to be for him.
God damn. Oh, man. And
Mighty Balzac said, Henry VIII that have divorces this messy.
Christ, just shut up.
I understand that he is probably incredibly frustrated.
Sure.
But this is not helping.
Dude, I have no doubt that when he first saw that, he got mad as a motherfucker. And I would have too. But then you have to be like, you know what? What's the best course of action here? Is it pussyfied saying that my wife is crazy and apparently unhealthy as well? I don't know where the unhealthy part comes from. Release her medical records? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, that's a terrible plan.
And it looks so dirty. Look, man, they're already out there saying this makes you look like a controlling douche, an emotionally abusive douche. And you're like, oh, wait, hold my beer.
Yeah, you want to see emotionally abusive and controlling? I'm going to dump all your medical records out for everyone. What? That's not helpful, dude. That's counterproductive to what you're trying to do. Fucking hell, man. Just quit while you're ahead. Don't file that motion. Don't be stupid. The judge is going to see this for what it is, and it's tit for tat nonsense. Somebody has to draw the line and say, "Look, I'm not going to engage with this."
Yeah,
because
just stop.
If whoever did give this video understands Steven, they probably knew he would react this way, and it's only going to benefit his wife. Even if he's perfectly in the right, his response to it is going to screw him over.
Oh yeah. And I imagine he's probably going to want custody. This kind of stuff doesn't look good for that. Just stop.
Yeah, visitation, anything like that, it makes you look like you're petty and vindictive, and judges do not like that. And they're already leaning toward women in most cases anyway.
Yeah.
So even if she was setting him up, this is not helping your cause, dude.
Yeah. Look, I've been a Crowder fan, and I hope he has some kind of redemption arc here, because I have enjoyed his show even before Landau was on, although Landau made it infinitely better.
Yeah.
And Steven is a voice for a lot of good things out there. Destroying yourself to own your wife like she's fucking the JJ or Susan Wojcicki, not the way to go here, homie. Calm it, pull it back in, go back. Let this part be personal. Let it be personal. You've kept it quiet despite whatever Candace Owens said 6 months ago that nobody cared about. Sorry, 4 months ago. That nobody cared about except you, apparently. Nobody was talking about your divorce. Relax. Shut the fuck up and put it back in the stable.
Know when to stop. Look, the worst part is that he's probably going to create the biggest self-own that he can't get out of. because there's been rumor going around that this surgery was elective and not required.
Yeah.
Landau, I think, kind of hinted at that too. But if it wasn't a medically necessary thing and he just didn't like the way it looked or something, that shit's going to come out now, because once he releases her medical records, she can do the same thing.
Danger says, correct me if I'm wrong here. Where did he say he was releasing her medical records? Where? He said all relevant medical records and including mental records. That's not his. He can release those at any time he wants to. They're his medical records. You can release your own medical records whenever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
They're yours.
But if there's ones that she has about her, they had filed with the court, like they had a mandated psych evaluation, that has to be released via the court.
Yep.
He can't just give that out because they're going through divorce.
It was scheduled non-emergency, not elective. Yeah, he didn't have the surgery till like the 11th of July. So almost 3 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks later.
Which kind of goes against the narrative he had when he was talking about it on his show. Remember, he was kind of playing.
It's elective, but the reason that he elected to do it is because that specific defect could cause the lung to collapse again. Once you've had a collapsed lung, it's easier for a lung to collapse. So elective, sure, but still necessary in my opinion. I would do it.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor, and I don't really care. I just think that he's making this messier than it needs to be because he's taking everything personally, and he's blaming her for what somebody else did. Because what usually happens, I've gone through this a few times with friends of mine that are getting divorced, and it's a really ugly divorce. They'll take stuff that they've got, stuff that they've given their lawyer, and they make copies of it, and they'll give it to someone else to hold. Because they say things like, if anything happens to me,
sure,
here. So this video was probably in the hands of a relative, like the reporter said. That would not surprise me. And that reporter saw him acting like an ass in that first video and was like, oh, fuck this. I've got this stack of shit right here.
It could also have been that when it happened, she sent it to her sister. Like, can you believe this shit? And her sister hung on to it.
Yeah. It was sitting in an email attachment or something. I'm inclined to believe that something like that happened more than she snuck it to the reporter and said, say somebody else did it. Because that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It would have been, if she wanted to publicly fuck with him, she could have taken Candace Owens up on her offer and appeared on Candace's show and played it there.
Danger says, yes, exactly. Talking about the medical release. He can't release her medical records, right? How do we know that he is not releasing info about him having mental health issues, for example? Because again, he can release his shit whenever the fuck he wants to. It's his.
Yeah. You don't
what
have
he's
to go
talking
through a
about
court for that.
Right. And what he's talking about is unsealing the case so that everything in the case is public record.
Yeah, because him and her agreed to a gag order.
Yes.
So all this stuff is not public record yet.
And so he's not saying he's going to release it. What'll happen is it'll become a matter of public record. People will find out it's public record and go digging through it.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't even be him releasing it per se.
Yeah. But having it unsealed like that, that's a real shitty move. Judges do not like this stuff, especially because he comes off as very, very controlling. Look at the Landau contract, the Dave shut up light, and this whole thing with her on the video makes him look really bad. This edition where I'm going to release everything makes him look like a control freak too. It just adds on. So he looks like a petty, vindictive diva, which I've been saying for a while. So once again, Jack's right. Woo!
Green Lady Gray says, what if her records aren't part of the case? Well, he's specifically saying any that are part of the case. He couldn't release anything else because, that would be quite illegal.
Anyway, HIPAA violation. But I imagine that he requested the court to have her take a psych eval, and there's something in there that makes her look bad, or he thinks does.
Yeah.
So it's a gotcha, and you don't want to do this shit publicly especially as a celebrity, unless you're trying to destroy somebody. And that is a real dangerous game to play. He is going to destroy his own career doing this.
All right, I want to move on to something a little more fun. And good God, we're already 40 minutes in, and we have a 20-minute video as the main topic tonight.
We're gonna be here all night.
Yes,
Buckle in, everybody.
Buckle in, because we have another video to watch. This one's only a minute and a half, Jack. We're building up. The first one was 59 seconds. This one is 1 minute and 16 seconds.
All right, so good 20 minutes on this one. Got it.
This is a video about how to talk to your wife if you guys have decided to be polyamorous and she's like, I'm not really on board anymore. Have you watched this?
No.
Oh my God, it's fucking great. Now, I do want to point out, I have to say this at the beginning. They tried to get artsy with this, and you see the setting that they're in right now. Well, occasionally they switch it so they're over her shoulder and they fuck it all up. And it drives me crazy, and I will probably bitch about it every time it happens on screen. Because right now, Jack, you see how her right shoulder is pointed out into the room?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when they try to do their hey, look, we're professionals recording. Somehow it becomes her left shoulder.
Oh, so they just switched chairs. Like,
Yeah.
We don't need to move the camera. Just switch spots with me.
And it's really bad looking. Anyhow, here we go. Wife's negative reaction to husband's first polyamorous date. And this was put out by people who support polyamory.
I had an amazing time on my date tonight. She's so cool and we have so much in common.
Read the room, homie.
Yeah. And her pussy's tighter than yours. Jesus. You want to punch her right in the boobie while you're at it?
For fuck's sake.
I don't know if I can do this. The thought of you just being with somebody else is making me feel sick.
Baby, I understand this is challenging for you.
They just did it. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It drives me nuts because you fucked up so bad.
Yeah, it's the same painting in the background. So
She's like, I don't know if I can do this. I understand it's one, I'm way too deep voiced on this. I understand. Why do all these guys sound like they have not hit puberty yet?
That's a good question. Yeah, maybe his date was a dude. I understand this is challenging for you, but I really want to stick my wiener in other women.
Notice he's got the apex predator look.
He kind of does.
He has the apex predator look. Yeah.
But we both agreed that we were going to try polyamory. And
yeah, you tried it. She don't like it no more, homie.
Yeah, we agreed we were going to try this. Has she gone out yet? Because I kind of doubt it.
Even if she hasn't, she's like, I don't like this. And he's like, but we agreed we'd try it. I was picturing this as a couple in the middle of anal sex.
Yes, that's how I was thinking too. Like,
right.
We agreed to try it, and I'm not finished yet.
She's like, I don't like this. And he's, or do it the other way. Hey, since we've got Apex Predator here, some pegging going on. And he's like, I don't like this. And she's like, but we agreed to try it.
And then
We
he
agreed.
peed on her.
that we were going to try polyamory and explore opening up our relationship.
But it's different when it's actually happening. I just feel like I'm gonna lose you.
Oh, honey, we're doing polyamory. You already lost me.
Look, baby. Look. But we said we were going to do it.
I really want other poon.
There's a lot of things that sound good in theory, Jack.
Yeah.
And not necessarily in practice.
And most polyamorous relationships do not work. They fail.
No, polyamory usually leads to one of the people hooking up with one of the people that they were being polyamorous with in a monogamous relationship.
Yeah.
You're not going to lose me. I'm committed to you and our marriage, but I want to be able to explore feelings with other people.
I know, but these feelings are just so hard for me. Could you just stop seeing her, please?
That's not fair to her or to me.
You went on like one date, dude.
It's not fair to her. I'm committed to you in this
It's not
relationship.
fair. It's not fair to her or me because I'm not done banging her.
I swear to God, when I first watched this, I had to stop it because I laughed so fucking hard at that thought. Look, this is our relationship, but what about her? What
Yeah.
about her feelings? Oh,
Real quick.
fuck.
Thank you, Frosty Glass. They've got bad continuity and they're breaking the 180-degree rule. This is triggering me by reminding me of the videos I made in high school. Yeah. High school students know better. And they should know. Look, there's tutorials on how to do shit like this. Come on.
It's not fair to her.
We both agreed to this, and I'm not going to break up with her just because you're feeling anxious, baby.
I'm committed to you, but fuck you.
But fuck your feelings. I'm going to plow this other chick. You're lucky I don't make you watch, bitch.
I don't know how to deal with these feelings.
It's okay. I'm here for you, and we can work through this together.
Except for when I'm dating her, because her feelings matter a lot to me.
Yeah. And when you're getting stuffed by another dude, he's going to be in the closet rubbing one out or crying. Maybe both.
I just want to remind you that this is supposed to help encourage polyamory.
I don't know
how any woman watches this and goes, now I really want to try that.
Because most of the time, polyamory is suggested by the dude.
Yeah.
But we also need to respect each other's boundaries and
what?
You're not respecting her boundary that she's saying, I'm uncomfortable.
I don't want to do this. I'm uncomfortable. We need to respect each other's boundaries. You need to let me plow her.
I think he meant respect his boundaries and the other chick's boundaries. You need to respect those, whore.
And feel like we can actually do this together. I'm not going anywhere.
Except for my date on Saturday.
Yeah. I'm not leaving you. All my stuff will still be here. I'm just going to be over at this other chick's house fucking her and occasionally bringing her over and having sex with her in our bed.
By the way, gentlemen, if you're looking at this and going, yeah, that would be really cool. She will eventually find a dude who's not fucking someone else.
Yeah.
Especially if you're this soy boy piece of shit.
Yeah. Like, she's not bad looking. He looks like he might, hook up with dudes on the side.
Apex predator.
I guess I need time to just adjust and process this.
Sorry, thank you, Travis Gardner. If they are suggesting poly, they are already fucking others. Not necessarily. Typically, yes. That's the rule. The rule is, though, when you're in a monogamous relationship and somebody says, I think we should see other people. They already are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I need time to just adjust and process this.
That means find a new apartment.
Right?
Probably do. But I'm here for you every step of the way.
And so is Sarah.
Except for when you're upset about me going on a date with. We need to accept each other's boundaries.
Unless they prevent me from sticking my wiener in other chicks.
It wouldn't be fair to her. She ain't married to you, motherfucker. I just can't believe that anybody falls for that shit.
Well, there's a lot of dummies out there. I don't know.
Women, you don't need a guy like that. That is a perfect example of just let it happen. Yes, it is. Shh, baby, shh. Just let it happen. I'm gonna go on this date. For fuck's sake. I just can't believe anybody is dumb enough to fall for that. And that they put this out as like, this is how you calm her down when she's upset that you had that first date. He's so happy about it. I just came back from the most wonderful date.
Well, he probably got a blowjob.
He probably gave one, let's be honest.
I met this wonderful girl, and her penis was smaller than mine.
She had a girl penis, and it was wonderful.
It was super.
Did you notice how high up his hand kept getting on her leg?
Yeah.
And she kept kind of pushing it back.
Yeah, she's like, this is for filming, okay, dude? It's not a porno.
It's not that
yet.
kind of movie.
He
was halfway high. Holy shit. Anyway, I guarantee you that guy's not in a polyamorous relationship, because if he was, the world would end. That dude's not dating anybody. That's not another dude.
He might be dating the tank division of Antifa.
You know what? He might be dating several guys.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Gay community's a little more open to exploration, we'll call it.
Yeah. These kind of open relationships. They're down with that. They get it.
Being that male feminist trying to touch a little poon with his hand sliding up her leg in this thing. Oh, fuck off. I just wanted to watch that because it made me laugh.
Wow, wait till you see the video I got for you.
And polyamory's stupid as shit. Well, what's your video? Let's do it before we do the main course tonight.
It's in the side chat.
All right, what we got tonight? Load up. Come on, bitch. Oh, I saw this.
Oh, damn it. Oh, hang on.
I'll help you out. I went through Clown World's feed today. So,
you cheater. Thank you, Evolved Potato. From what I understand, if you want to add another person, if it's a guy, the guy finds another guy. More likely, if it's a girl, the girl finds another girl. After one night at a hotel, never see them again. That's the only way I can imagine it working at all. It always comes down to feelings, because if somebody catches feelings or feels betrayed, the relationship's over. And that's usually what happens. I've seen it happen way too often.
I'm going to tell you a story about a man named Jed. I know these people tangentially, but it was a married couple, and this girl needed a place to stay, so they let her stay in their house. And one thing leads to another, and it'd be a great idea if we were a couple, the three of us together. And they set rules, Jack, because that's their big deal. And no, we have rules. And they were never supposed to be together apart. You know what I mean? The married couple was allowed to be, but the guy was never supposed to bang the chick when they weren't, all three together.
Mm-hmm.
That lasted less than a week. And he ended up moving out of the house with the side chick and left mama there with 2 kids.
Yeah.
That's what typically happens, is their rules get broke. And one of them catches, like you said, they catch feelings for their side piece.
Yeah, and it doesn't end well. Somebody always gets hurt and is resentful and then leaves.
Yep.
So, yeah, there are people I know that have made it work for a few years, but even then it falls apart in the end. But, yeah, it doesn't seem like the majority of people can handle that. I'm sure there are some that are very successful with it, and whatever. I don't give a fuck, but it just historically doesn't seem to work out very well.
If they want to do it, it's their thing. Just stop trying to push it on society as a regular thing. And we've seen this in news article after news article lately, where they're trying to push polyamory. No, it's stupid. It is not the natural human condition. We are a very jealous people. Jealousy is a natural human emotion. Anyhow, let's watch this fucking retard. Original video from 3/11/23.
Up until yesterday, I worked at Blunt Pretzels. I asked the general manager to stand up for trans rights and against our genocide, and he laughed in my face.
I would have too. I'm just throwing that out there.
I want you to stand up for trans genocide. I want you to get back to work.
Right. Go make a pretzel, dummy. Where's the salt?
The owner, his father is a Nazi. His son is the general manager. I have spent nearly a year expending so much emotional labor trying to make sure that I'm safe.
Okay. First of all, I don't think they're gonna listen if you call them Nazis.
Right.
You just called his dad a Nazi and expected him to do something. Also, instead of expending emotional labor, why didn't you expend some physical labor and do your fucking job and shut up?
Shut the fuck up. Go do your job. Why are you? Hang on. We got. There's something coming up before we get into this.
Including having 3-hour conversations with the general manager about why rape isn't funny.
Why are you bothering the general manager about why rape isn't funny when you're supposed to be making pretzels, bitch?
Yeah, I mean, did somebody get raped by the pretzel machine? I don't understand. Like, you make pretzels. You're at probably at the kiosk at the mall making pretzels, and you're like, rape isn't funny. What? I said put some butter on the pretzels. We got an order in, dumbass. Excuse me. You're just taxing my emotional labor.
3-hour meeting, Jack.
Yeah,
3
I'd be like,
hours.
get out of my office.
Yeah. I would have been like, you're fired because you should be working right now and you're not.
Yeah.
At work.
At work, right there. At work. You're doing this shit at work. No wonder people fire Gen Zers.
And I'm sorry, I cut that off just a little too early because she says rape isn't funny at work. At work you can't, it's not funny, but if it happens right outside.
Well,
At
I
work,
think
it's
she meant
funny.
the 3-hour conversation was at work.
Oh yeah, I know what she meant.
Yeah. Oh,
But
nice
the way
pause
she
game, by
said
the
it.
way.
He has sat there and watched the owner be transphobic to me.
Did they mention that you have a penis? Because that's not transphobic.
Yeah. I would bet that there was a joke made that was probably pretty hilarious, maybe not politically correct, but it could have just been a misgendering thing too. Like they accidentally said he, and you took that as being transphobic directed at you.
Or they said something like drag queen story hours wrong.
Yeah.
Because it could have been anything. But I am a trans person, so that affects me. It's emotional labor.
Oh, God.
They probably didn't even get paid for their emotional labor.
Oh no. That's like time and a half, right?
Got to go file an EEOC complaint because they weren't paid for their emotional labor.
Ugh. That's going to be a thing,
He also watched and supported while he paid me less than everybody else.
Where the last person hired in and you started at base pay and everybody else had been there a while and got raises?
Did everybody else do their fucking job so they got better raises than you did?
Yeah, I wouldn't give you a good raise if you wasted 3 hours of my workday rambling on about some nonsense that I don't give a shit about. I'm trying to make pretzels.
That's waste. That is 6 hours wasted because it's 3 hours for each of them.
Yeah.
That is 6 hours of labor gone so that you could whine about trans crap. But I got the emotionals.
This person did not do anything all day at work.
No.
Remember the person that was sitting on the floor crying?
Oh, at Starbucks? Yeah.
Yeah, this is what this reminds me of, except with more screeching, harpy-like sounds.
Yeah, this one hasn't been on estrogen as long.
On purpose. They cater cop events
Those bastards.
while also trying to have booths at Pride. And when I
You mean they're trying to expand their market base? Those sons of bitches trying to make money? Those assholes.
Catering them cop events because you know how cops are killing all the trans people.
That's a transicide.
It's a trans side. Is it transicide or transide?
It'd be homicide, so it'd be transicide, I would think.
I asked them to not cater to sheriffs, they told me that I was being inappropriate. If you are in the
Yeah, it's not your fucking job to tell them who they can sell stuff to. You're not a manager or owner. You don't get to say that.
I asked them not to do it, and I had a 3-hour emotional labor conversation with them about it.
Yeah. Like, who do you think you are that you're so important? You get to tell the general manager who they can sell to. Fuck you, you arrogant son of a bitch. What? Oh my God, is this Crowder?
The Asheville area or Buncombe County, do not support blunt pretzels if you support trans people.
I don't support or not support trans people. I don't have anybody in my charge that
Yeah, I don't give a shit either, but I do love pretzels.
I do.
So if I'm ever in the Asheville area, I am going to buy a pretzel there because I'll
I'm
be
going
like, ooh, pretzels.
I will be going to Blunt Pretzel if I'm ever, for whatever reason, in that area. And hopefully they have a decent cheese dipping sauce because I like that with my pretzel. Mustard's good, but I like a good cheese. But fuck. These fucking people, man. I asked them not to make money. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I'm shocked at the arrogance level that we keep seeing these kids get, because it gets more and more every time we watch this stuff.
Yeah.
They want more and more control over people. They think they can tell people how to run their business when they're not only a nobody, they're nobody with no experience.
It's actually a pretty good segue, Jack, to play that video right before the main topic tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, on Friday night's Real Time with Bill Maher, their guest that they had on before they do the panel was Elon Musk. And I got to be honest, Jack, going into it, I was like, Bill's going to be a prick, isn't he? And I was shocked. And I mean that sincerely. I did not expect to watch what I watched. And so we're going to review it tonight.
Oh.
It's 20 minutes long. We're already an hour into the show. So my advice to you guys would be to pack a lunch.
Take a pee.
Go pee now. Because we're gonna watch this one, Jack. Because I honestly I was not expecting this to go the way that it did. And it's the title that most people have been talking about today, with Elon Musk calling out what he called the woke mind virus.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've seen this interview or clips from it, but we're going to watch the full thing. HBO, you can suck my dick. We will be commenting. We will be well within fair use. Some of you might have to see this in a couple of days after I challenge it.
Yeah. It'll be on Rumble.
Yes, it will be on Rumble. Here we go.
Oh, hey,
good.
Real quick. This Blunt Pretzels has a really good website, and you can order their pretzels. They're just expensive.
Cool. All right. Well, here we go.
My first guest is the man who made electric cars a thing and is currently working on perfecting reusable rockets, space travel, connecting the human brain directly to computers, connecting cities with electromagnetic bullet trains, the Starlink satellite system that's so important to the war in Ukraine. And then on Tuesday, he's going to work on that.
Now, I just do want to stop there because it is easy to forget how much stuff Elon is doing.
Oh, yeah.
This guy has a lot of coals in the fire. What is it? Irons in the fire? Yeah, whatever. He's got a lot of shit going on. All we hear about mostly these days is he's on the Twitter. That some bitch said something on Twitter. You know, if half the people on Twitter actually went out and did anything, the world would be a better place.
They'd be more productive and probably have more money. So, because there's a lot of people I've seen that just seem to spend their entire life on Twitter. Just sad.
Judged.
Yeah, but this is our job. Rodline said, but Thunderfoot says he's stupid.
That's because Thunderfoot's an asshole. Don't forget those birds flying at Mach 5. Anyway, no, I'm sorry, they were ducks. They were ducks. Right?
Yeah, ducks or geese.
I started talking like that with a duck.
Oh.
That was a
Yeah,
perfect Thunderfoot. I didn't realize I could do his voice.
It's
Apparently-
because everybody's dumb but him.
All you gotta do is twist a song all the way in the mouth and you can talk like Thunderfoot.
Yeah, you gotta sound like do a quirky voice and put a bunch of cotton balls in your mouth.
Yeah. Anyhow,
Tunnel thing on traffic. He also tweets a lot. Elon Musk, right here.
I don't know how many Elon Musk interviews you watch. I've caught him a
many.
few times. I don't watch a ton of them, but he's kind of awkward. I don't know which side of the spectrum he's on, but he's on that spectrum somewhere.
Yeah, he's a typical nerd. You know, a little bit socially awkward, a little slightly overweight, and laughs a lot. Usually has a pretty good sense of humor.
I didn't realize how tall he was.
Yeah, I didn't either. I thought he was like 5'8" or something.
Damn, look how he towers over Bill.
Well, Bill's a little gnome.
Look at you.
I thought Bill was like almost 6 foot.
Let's find out.
How tall is Bill Maher? We have the best news.
You type in Bill Maher height is the second one. Bill Maher's 5'8".
5'8". All right, so that maybe what 6'2" for Elon?
Elon Musk height is 6'1.5".
I was close. 6'2". Yeah. All right. Just judging by how much taller he is than Bill there.
Yeah.
He had to bend over to shake his hand.
Did I get the full order of things that you do in a day there? When I was reading there, I left out the tunnel thing at the end. Do you work on all these?
A lot of jobs.
Do you do all these things every day? Do you work on all of them in a single day?
No,
No.
but I do have, I do have a long work day. Yeah, so I work a lot.
This is what I was talking about the
I'm so
awkward
thrilled
part.
you're here because we do a show where we talk about what changes happen in the world, but we just talk. There's a very few people who actually make change happen. You are one of those people, probably.
Now, this is the first part where I went, am I watching the right show?
Yeah.
Bill spends this whole interview just kissing Elon's ass.
He's the richest man on the planet, so.
No, and I understand that. And, Bill one day might get canceled again and might need to go to Twitter for a show. But between Bill kissing his ass and the audience loving him, I mean, you heard that clap. That's not Bill Maher's audience. No matter what you guys think about Bill Maher in real time, they are not afraid to boo Bill or to sit there quiet when they disagree. But they are clapping like trained seals.
Yeah, I have to say though that Elon is pretty likable. He seems like a normal guy.
I hear you on that front, but he has been declared enemy number one because he believes in free speech. Therefore, he's for Nazis.
Oh yeah, because Nazis were huge on free speech.
They definitely were. But this is what I told you before the show, and one of the things that hit me about this is that I feel like even I fell for some press nonsense. Because there's been so much negative press about Elon here. It's like maybe half the country does hate the man. This is a decidedly liberal audience clapping like hell for this guy. And when he says you went out there and did things, part of that is Twitter. And there's going to come a part later. Well, I'll let you listen to it.
I just want to say I love this audience.
It's gotten much better about playing the crowd. I'll say that too.
Yeah.
Well, you're a likable guy.
Thanks.
They attack you a lot.
They do.
Yeah. and you seem to laugh it off, which I think is fantastic. I love it that you have a sense of humor because a guy as important as you who makes.
I'm sorry, I got to point this out. Bill Maher, I don't know who's doing your makeup these days, but you look like you're in a coffin.
Yeah, he does have like that mortician look.
He does. Who the fuck is doing your makeup, homie? Oh.
Same guy that did Frank's in
Yes.
that episode of Sunny.
Frank's Little Beauties.
Fantastic. I
Yeah.
love it that you have a sense of humor, because a guy as important as you who makes changes
Yeah.
could use your powers for evil and not good. The fact
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
you could.
I would, of course, I would. Yeah, never use.
See, and that's another part that gets me. I mean, I realize that when it comes to the free speech thing, which is part of where Bill is on his side here, that Bill tries to pretend he's on that side. But I am shocked that in this place that Bill didn't have some kind of criticism for Elon, because so many people do on the left. Like, he is using his powers for evil. He's letting the Nazis speak.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Bill will have to go apologize to Ice-T or something, because he
Probably.
already apologized to Ice Cube.
Use them for evil. That's
No, I
crazy.
know. But the way I know that is because you have a sense of humor.
Yeah,
You really do.
I
You
try
like,
to,
yeah,
yeah.
you like laughing. You like to be funny.
I mean, I kill me.
Right. No, as opposed to somebody like Zuckerberg, who I'm not even sure is a real boy.
That's also a fair point.
Yeah,
Have
he
you ever
does have that, like that Pinocchio look.
Have you ever seen Mark Zuckerberg ever laugh?
No, and I'm afraid to. It'll look a lot like Data in that episode where he tried to laugh.
I'm
Yeah,
a human.
I are human. It'll sound like he's venting plasma.
I would say the same thing about most tech executives. I mean, the guy who owns or who runs Google, Sundar, I've seen him laugh. But the vast majority of them, they seem like fucking robots.
Well, they're very cloistered people, the nerds.
I feel like AI is already here, and that's what we've been. They keep saying AI is here, and it was them all the time.
No, they've been replaced with Android doubles, and they function in short bursts, so they don't have to laugh very often. That's why.
Foreign says, I've never seen him emote. Me neither. Talking about Zuckerberg, that dude, I don't think he's human at all. I all jokes aside, there's something wrong with that guy.
Yeah, he's a reptilian. Look, Zoom didn't perfect the emotion chip until he got to Data. So clearly Zuckerberg was an early model.
He came right
yeah,
after
I
war.
made a Star Trek reference. I knew who Noonie and Zoom was. Screw you guys. I'm not a nerd.
Yeah.
I also noticed this about him. He's got a cut right here. He's got a scar. And the only reason I noticed that, Jack, is I have two scars like that from where I had my spinal surgeries.
Oh yeah.
Did Elon ever have to have spinal surgery?
I don't know. He might have been injured or something. Collarbone. I don't know. He might have been fought off some assassins at one point too.
He fought off Zuckerberg.
Yeah, he did build a flamethrower. You don't just randomly decide to make flamethrowers unless you're like Iron Man.
Fair enough.
So maybe he was fighting Fin Fan Foom or the Mandarin and got a little battle damage,
Yeah, I actually love comedy, and actually, many years ago, I actually was in the audience here and watched your show.
Oh,
So,
really?
I've been a long time admirer of your show.
Oh, well, thank you. Let me get back to you being a genius. Okay, but that has always been my view, is that I was a history major, and when you study
Great.
history, what you realize is that, there's the great man theory, and they talk about kings and princes and queens and presidents. It's really the people in tech who change the world. They're the people who deal the cards, whether it's fire or electricity, or for good or bad, or the cotton gin, or the iPhone, or the atom bomb. Those are the cards, and the rest of us just play it.
I like this point, and I think that doesn't get talked about very often.
Oh, it's accurate. Look at all the things Tesla did that we use every day. The Tesla coil revolutionized a lot.
Yeah.
Alternating current every time you turn on a light switch.
even when he talks about like the atom bomb at the end there, if you look at say World War II, where a ton of tech comes from,
Oh yeah.
it wasn't the president who did that. It wasn't any of the leaders who did that. It was the guys in the little lab going, all right, we got to make something that blows up even bigger. We got to make a way to get across the trench safer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that is something that's not talked about enough. And well, I do think that leaders are important, because let's be honest, most of these tech guys aren't leaders, and it would be horrible for the world if they were. The people who actually make the world change are the ones who do this, and maybe that's why the world right now, with the changes that we're going through with the cultural change, it's a forced change, unlike just a natural change, because things have changed around us.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe that's why it's so just drastic. It's not a normal thing. It didn't happen because technology changed and suddenly boys were girls. It's being forced on us by, well, the people who don't actually do anything, by, I'm using air leaders.
Yeah, it's an artificial change that's directed from some outside intervention, not through the natural progress of society.
All right.
Would you agree with that assessment?
I think technology is the thing that causes these big step changes in civilization. So obviously you've got things like, say, the Gutenberg press, before which
Right.
it was very difficult to get books. They were
Yes.
very rare. Even if you had a thirst for knowledge, you really couldn't do anything about it, because there were very few books to read. So, and the internet is something beyond.
And it's one of the things that does not get enough. People talk about the most important inventions in history. Occasionally people say the Gutenberg press, but it's usually like way down on their list, like the telephone.
The printing press made everything possible.
Yeah. The printing press was the internet of its day.
Oh yeah. And you couldn't stop it, which really pissed off a lot. It was outlawed for a long time in various regions because they didn't want their people to have things. It was legal to own a Bible for a very long time throughout most of Europe because the Pope didn't want people interpreting things on their own. And it wasn't until Henry VIII was like, fuck you, I want a divorce, that everybody started being able to buy Bibles because the Church of England started printing them. There's a lot of things like that people don't understand. Chemistry is founded in alchemy, and alchemy was forbidden in most places throughout Europe because it was dangerous to what they saw as the economy. Because if somebody successfully turned lead into gold, it's going to destroy your economy and they're going to be massively rich. But also because they didn't understand it. So fundamental understanding came through secret manuscripts and knowledge passed that way. Books and scrolls, that was a massive step up. And then the printing press where you could mass produce it, that was huge.
Evolved says, I don't know, I think fire's pretty. Fire is how we started actually making civilization itself.
Yeah, and fire is how they burn the books. So
true, that's how we keep the blasphemers out,
right?
But when it comes to massively jumping forward in human intelligence, the Gutenberg press is like the start, because that's where mass production come from. For like Elon was just saying, you just couldn't get books. Even if you could read, you'd have to go to a library way the fuck out of town. If you could even get to one, Jack.
Yeah, well, I think it was Thomas Jefferson had the largest library in the States in his day, and he only had about 200 books.
Yeah. And so you get the Gutenberg press, which makes it, and then the internet comes along and is like, oh, you want access to books? You want access to knowledge? Anyway.
Beyond the Gutenberg press, I think. But, it's when I first saw the internet coming into being in a way that the general public could use it, it felt like the humanity as a whole was developing a nervous system. So previously, the way the information would travel would be by osmosis, one person to another, or one person calling another. But the access to information was very limited. Now with the internet, it's like having a nervous system. It's like any part of humanity has access to almost all the information of humanity. Like you could be in the
And we use it for dog memes and cat memes.
Hey, cats are super cute and they're adorable and they are our masters. Do not badmouth them. But he's not wrong. The ability to have access to all the information, or at least the vast majority of the information in the world, really does help make things easier to progress. Because before, if you wanted to know a formula for something, you had to hope you could get it illicitly through some connection, and it wasn't just a bunk one. So now everything is available out there. You can try things out. You could get all the information you need to make 3D copies of something with a 3D printer. A couple $100 goes a long way these days.
You can also access like real-time information. So something happens, and let's take Covington for an example. You have this major event that's reported on by all of these outlets. And before they'd even written their stories, we already knew what happened because we watched the video.
Yeah.
In real time.
You know when a typhoon hits the Philippines and you live in like Chile. Before any of the weather patterns change or anything, major events, wars kicking off. We talked about the Ukraine war as it was breaking. That sort of world-changing events that you used to just read about like a week later in the newspaper.
Well, as much access as we had to the Gulf War, as one-sided as it was through CNN there, we didn't have the same access to where like you and me sat there and watched video cameras from Ukraine.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah. And same with like the riots in Portland and Seattle.
Yeah.
We were watching people walking around filming as it was happening.
This isn't really even the part I wanted to talk about, but it is fascinating to me. And I do think it's something people need to pay more attention to.
Yeah, because it's this is important because younger people haven't lived without this.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, it took a while for trends of anything to reach you. So like jean jackets were cool in California. It'd be 6 months before that reached Idaho.
Yeah.
So the trends are instantaneous now. Information is instantaneous. We take a lot of that for granted. The fact that you can hear us right now is a massive step up just in the last, 10 years, 15 years?
Easily, yeah. Because even going back to the beginning of the internet, at that time, let's say you and me decide we're going to make a radio show, Jack, and we hit it big in our area. We'd never be global.
Yeah.
You can listen to us literally anywhere in the world right now.
Yeah. We're not even in the same state. So that's a big step up. What would we be doing this on ham radio?
At best, yeah.
We wouldn't even know each other if it wasn't for the internet. There's a lot of things that come together for this to happen. And the fact that anybody could talk about the news and be commentators on it and do their own shows is amazing. It's not as controlled as it used to be. And as much as they want to control it, this is a beautiful thing to be able to speak your mind.
Yeah, and when he's talking about technology, it's for better or worse. Not all technology is good.
Yeah, just ask Fauci.
And not every aspect of technology is good. Like the internet, there's a lot of great things about it. There's a lot of bad things about it too. There's a lot of weirdos getting together going, the earth is flat. But we have the instant ability to go, you're a fucking retard for saying that.
Yeah.
Before you'd have to write an op-ed and hope they actually printed it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get back to our video because we do have a long way to go. Oh, by the way, if there's any point you want me to stop it, just say so and I will.
No.
Or don't.
Middle of the Amazon jungle with, say, a Starlink terminal and have access to more information than the president did in 1980.
Right. Well, anything on your phone.
Everything.
Is
Yeah.
okay. So you are one of these dealers, these people who deal the cards and
I deal some memes too.
Yes, you do.
some.
Love when he cracks himself up.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people thought when you bought Twitter that this is kind of an outlier. Like, what doesn't fit with these
Sure.
other things you're doing? I never thought that.
Oh,
Because I
yeah.
think you're dealing with big civilizational issues and problems, and I was right on your page. I think Twitter is one of them. I mean, you have talked about this
Yeah.
woke mind virus
Yes.
in really apocalyptic terms.
Yeah.
You should explain why you don't think it's hyperbole to say things like it's pushing civilization towards suicide. First of all, what is the woke mind virus? And if we don't deal with this, nothing else can get done. Tell me why you think that.
Yeah. So I think we need to be very cautious about anything that is anti-meritocratic, and anything that is that results in the suppression of free speech.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Um,
Real quick. Thank you, Frosted Glass. 150 years ago, I'd have to wait a couple of weeks to receive a telegram just to find out a Midwesterner fell down the stairs again. That's true.
That is true. And now you can find out instantly. Well, as soon as that Midwesterner can type on his phone.
Yeah.
Although that Midwesterner can't type on his phone right now because he's not signed into his Twitter and he doesn't know his Twitter password and he's not willing to fuck around with it. It's a true story.
Yeah. Beavis Cornholio's right. Porn. Lots and lots of porn.
Well, there's that too. That's
so awesome.
The suppression of speech and Elon buying Twitter. I mean, those go together, and especially, I don't think Elon. There's a lot of people. Oh, he just did this so he can control speech. We always said, Jack, that it was never going to be completely open. It can't be. Legally, it can't be. It could be in the United States, but in Europe, you could get in trouble for it. In Canada, you could get in trouble for it. There are places around the world like, well, that was said online. You're in trouble for it now.
Yeah, that's such bullshit. But one thing we do not export enough of is our Bill of Rights.
Yes.
I mean, other people should be emulating that. We should be like, look, we're awesome because we have these rights.
Yep.
And we should be encouraging other people to adopt them. Free speech is, of course, number one for a reason.
But we don't export free speech. The only time we even get close to it is like, you should let trans or gay people speak. And occasionally, you should let women have a vote. That's as close as we get.
Yeah, we used to, though, because
Yeah.
we used to talk about how great we were to everybody. But unfortunately, now we have a bunch of self-loathing pieces of shit in charge. And they have loud voices.
And there's just too many people who do not understand the importance of that First Amendment.
Yeah, including Prince Harry. Did you see him being a dumbass about it? I don't understand free speech. Yeah, of course you don't. You're a fucking Brit. You're
You're
royal piece
British.
of shit.
Of course. That's why we left, fucker.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, those are two of the aspects of the woke mind virus that I think are very dangerous. Is that it's often anti-meritocratic. You can't question.
I love that term too, Americratic.
I thought he was saying anti-meritocratic.
Meritocratic?
Yeah, as in meritocracy.
Meritocracy?
Yeah. He is from South Africa.
All right, so maybe he's saying either way, I agree. I approve of both.
Yeah, that's fair.
Even the questioning is bad. So, another way to almost anonymous would be cancel culture. And obviously, people have tried to cancel you many times.
Many times.
Yeah, I mean,
every week.
Yeah.
From left and right. I've had it from both sides.
Yeah,
and it's interesting. People, you and I are.
What was that?
I said, I bet you have.
Well, I mean, he's going to make the joke here in a minute, but he's literally been canceled before.
Both like in that little group of people, maybe it's a bigger group now,
Yeah.
who are called conservative, who haven't really changed. I don't think of you as a conservative.
I'm definitely.
One thing about Bill here, he's talking about this, but Bill has only recently again been called a conservative.
He is so not a conservative.
He he rejects the notion to the point where he'll even make a big shows about how much he hates Republicans, which is fine.
Yeah.
But he's trying to make it sound like this has been an ongoing thing. Nobody's even come close to calling you conservative since your politically incorrect days. You've been pretty much on the left for a long time. Good morning, Nuts.
Hey, Stargazer.
Where the only time that it's even started is that because he has finally actually started standing up for things like free speech and against cancel culture.
So he's a Nazi now.
Yeah, to many people he is. And I would not be shocked to actually, I was a little shocked to see that he wasn't trending today with this interview. With them going, how dare you suck up to Musk? Because Musk is Satan. Look at his mustache and beard. He's Satan.
Yes, he's very much. You could see the sinister look in his eyes.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I was looking at Bill. Sorry.
Yeah, like I at least think of myself as a moderate. So I mean, at least I've spent a massive amount of my life energy building sustainable energy, electric vehicles and batteries and solar and stuff to help save the environment. That's not a no. It's not exactly far right.
No, you drew that diagram. You drew that diagram.
What's up?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you said anyway.
No.
Yeah, this is one of those things. It's like the J.K. Rowling thing. There's nothing about J.K. Rowling that is far right, but she said women are women and men are men. You can't change that biologically. And they're like, oh, she's fucking Hitler. The woke mind virus is the woke cult. It's a cult.
Oh, it's absolutely a cult. We've been saying that for a while. A lot of people are starting to come around to it, but it is very much because it's rooted so heavily in communism, and communism is a secular religion.
Yep. It is. You better be on board or we will erase you.
Yeah, it has a lot of the same features as any cult. And that's done intentionally because that's how you keep people in line.
Once where you're here, I related to that. And like the world has changed.
Right.
I feel the same way. I feel like very often wokeness is not building on liberalism. It's the opposite of liberalism. I can mention
exactly
many examples where it's including free speech.
Wokeism is communism. There's nothing free about it.
Yeah, you will fall in line or you will be destroyed.
Think like we tell you to.
Yeah.
For the good of everybody.
It's for the benefit of society that we all are on the same page.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, this is why, Jordan Peterson calls it cultural Marxism.
Yeah.
It basically is. And if you pay attention to it, the wording, they even use the same fucking propaganda.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Free speech is actually is extremely important. And it's bizarre that we've come to this point where free speech used to be a left or liberal value. And yet we see from, the in quotes left, a desire to actually censor. That seems crazy. I mean, I think we should be extremely concerned about anything that undermines the First Amendment. There's a reason for the First Amendment.
For the record, throughout American history, left and right have taken the First Amendment and wiped their ass with it. Just absolutely wiped their ass with it.
Yeah, they want free speech for their ideas.
Yeah. And so the notion that it's always been a lefty thing. No. I mean, in the 60s, there was a lot of yelling about it, but that was just hippies who didn't want to go to war.
Yeah.
I mean, Wilson, really? FDR wasn't real big on people who didn't agree with him.
No, they went camping.
Yeah.
The First Amendment is because people came from countries where they could not speak freely, and where saying certain things would get you thrown into prison, and they were like, "Well, we don't want that here." And by the way, in many parts of the world, including parts of the world that people might think are relatively similar to the United States, the speech laws are draconian.
Yes. And this is why people get mad at me when I say this, Jack. The United States is the only country where you are guaranteed free speech. And even here, we're not.
Yeah.
But we're the only one where it is free speech. And Canadians get mad at me because they're like, oh, we have it too. Read your fucking Constitution. It says free expression as long as we say it's okay.
Yeah. Just as those truckers and anybody that violates C11.
Uh-huh. So he's not wrong. Even in the most Western of countries, free speech is not an ideal that's pushed anywhere anymore, actually, Jack. And here where we push it, those of us who do, oh, you just want to be able to say the N-word. I don't give a shit about the N-word, all right? I want to be able to point out that you're a biological man and not get, silenced and lose my bank account and my ability to earn money.
Look, your social credit score is going to go down, monkey. You need to accept that. You won't be able to ever use a bus again.
I want to expand it because it's not just the First Amendment, because the First Amendment is legal. We used to actually believe in it on a principled level as well.
Yeah.
That censorship is wrong. Yeah, you're a company that can do it, but you don't because this is America and that's not we don't value censorship. Now we do.
Yeah, it used to be if you didn't like a show, you didn't watch it.
Yeah.
And then people started like Tipper Gore. Hey, that is not appropriate. We need to have that removed. We need to stick warning labels on things. Thankfully, the Supreme Court has upheld there is no such thing as hate speech for now. So at least we're a little safer here than in some other countries, but they're trying real hard to destroy the First Amendment here.
Thank you, Cass One. But saying whatever you want isn't free. The EU is more free, according anyone we say matters. Your chains will free you. Your hunger will fill you. Submit. Hell no. Thank you for the donation.
Thank you, Travis Gardner, who says redo was threatened by the Australian government. I saw that and I responded to it. And I posted a picture of a flag over a middle finger and I said, fuck right off with that.
Yep.
But yeah, the Australian government threatened them.
All right. Back to this.
England is quite different.
I won't name any countries, but
England, why we protected them? They have no First Amendment. It's very easy to prove libel in England, whereas here it's almost.
I love England, but
yeah, I do too. But I wouldn't want to say the.
He does business in England. He's got to be careful.
Yeah.
You don't, Bill.
In England, somebody got arrested for praying in their head.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we talked about that, didn't we?
I think so.
The wrong thing, or
yes,
you could be sued easier. There are law in France. I think if you deny the Holocaust, which I think is abhorrent, but I also think it should be part of free speech.
Yep.
Right.
You can be thrown into jail. Okay, so this
I really can't emphasize this enough. We must protect free speech, and free speech only matters. It's only relevant when it's someone you don't like.
Yep,
saying something you
100%.
don't like, because obviously speech that you like is
yes,
that's easy. So it's and it's the thing about censorship is that sure for those who would advocate it, just remember at some point that will be turned on you.
They never believe that.
He's absolutely right.
Yep. And that's what it goes to with the censorship or the First Amendment. It only matters when it's speech you don't like.
Yeah.
I've been called lots of names, Jack, because of things that I support because of free speech. And one of the biggest arguments I ever got into where I was called a racist over and over was because I said people in Cleveland shouldn't burn down their city because of a Klan march. Like you shouldn't burn down your own city. They're like, oh, you support the Klan. I'm like, I support their right to say stupid shit. I don't support them. That's different.
Yeah, how else are we going to laugh at these idiots? For a lot of these things, if you just ignore it, if nobody went to the Klan rallies, they'd stop doing them.
Well, I think in that one there was like 12 or 15 people.
Yeah.
And These people burned down their own town over it. Like they marched through here. We're gonna burn. You realize this through a black neighborhood. You burned down a black neighborhood when the Klan went through. You just saved them trouble.
Yeah, you're doing their busy work.
You fucking retards. But they have the right to say stupid shit. And there's a new argument that's been popping up lately, Jack. Like, no, arguing against it, that's not really the way to stop it because some people might still believe it. Well, yeah, you're gonna have dumb people. You don't shut down speech because dumb people exist.
Oh my God, nobody'd get anything done.
All of the fuckers who are arguing against free speech wouldn't be allowed to talk. They're too fucking stupid.
Yeah, well, there's that.
So this woke mind virus, how did it start? Was it bats? Was it a escape from a lab? I mean, what is your assessment of what? Because it's fairly recent. How did it start and why?
It was a pangolin.
Well played.
So I was trying to figure out where it's coming from. I think it's actually been a long time brewing.
True.
In that it's, I think it's been going on for a while. The amount of indoctrination that's happening in schools.
Do you see how fast his eyes move when he's thinking?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like a robot. Like he's processing. Sorry.
And universities is, I think, far beyond what parents realize.
This is where I want to stop. He said the indoctrination in universities is far beyond what parents realize.
Oh, yeah.
I disagree with him there. I think a lot of parents these days are right on board because they went through the same university systems. It's
maybe
why we don't see more pushback. He is true, or he is right, and this is a long time coming. This shit goes back to at least the 20s, at least. And I don't mean the 2020s, I mean the 1920s. And in the 60s, there's a huge push.
Well, they used to fight against the commies, and the commies have managed to subvert that these days. We don't really fight them anymore.
Yeah, true.
So
did you see
held at bay?
Did you see Biden's comment about what brought South Korea and America together?
No, I missed that.
It was freedom and fairness. Though he didn't say anti-communism. That's completely missing from the statement.
I don't how that was a major part of the entire war.
It's literally why we did it. Thank you, Ty Sloan. Did you like who the Chargers picked in the draft? I haven't even looked at the draft this year yet. I'll probably read up on that tomorrow.
It's the Chargers. They're just gonna lose.
They make good draft picks. They're a great farm team for other teams, so there's probably a good pick or two in there this year that will go on to win Super Bowls with other teams.
Oh, well, I suppose they're the minor leagues for another team.
It's basically what the Chargers are. All right, here we go. Oh, wait. Dark Resurrect, thank you for that feminist $12. Hang on, I go over here. That's a longer one. Don't forget, guys, we're brought to you by you. Hit the like button, the share button. If you would, please consider donating to Jack or myself. The link is at the top of your YouTube chat. It's also in the description of videos on Rumble and on YouTube. You can donate if you're listening after the show. Not expected, always appreciated. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, coming through with that feminist $12. In defense of Musk, the eye thing is common with autistic/ADHD, and they aren't the same TikTok stop it people. They're literally looking through a mental filing cabinet. I do the same thing. I wasn't making fun of him so much as that's usually what you see in a movie if it's a robot and they're thinking.
Yeah, they're processing.
Yeah.
But thankfully he's not Zuckerberg, so he's actually just thinking.
Yeah.
Real quick though, thank you, Circus Zero, for the very generous donation for the Feed Jack Fund. Oh, thank you. That's my favorite fund because I'm fat and I love to eat.
I've seen Blade Runner. I know he's not a replicant because he laughs.
Well, he doesn't have the red eye shine either.
Yeah. So
not a replicant. We have established Elon Musk is not a replicant.
He's human.
We have two sources of info.
And I sort of came to realize this somewhat late. The experience that we had in high school and college is not the experience that kids today are having.
I know they're older than us, Jack, but the experience that they had in high school and college was the start of it really, really getting bad.
The 90s really ramped it up, but the colleges really got infiltrated in like the 60s, and it had been around before that, but it was much more covert. And then like the 60s, 70s, 80s, it grew exponentially each decade.
And started being more accepted that you have commie bullshit.
Yeah, well, they started hiring from their graduating pools.
Yeah.
So it got progressively worse and worse with each generation.
And hasn't been for, I don't know, 10 years, maybe 20 years. So
hasn't been for 10 or 20 years. Elon, you're off by about 40.
Yeah. Like this shit was noticeable when I was in college in the 90s. Like they even did movies on it, that sitcom or that comedy movie PCU.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about the cause heads and the stoners. The cause heads were very, very good representation of the people that were like the cancel culture crowd now.
Yep. The difference is that Circus Zero, thank you so much. Have to feed the monkey as well. That is very generous. Thank you so much, my friend.
Yeah, appreciate it, sir.
The difference is the 10 to 20 year frame that he's talking about here. This is where it just starts to get ridiculous, to where they're not even close to hiding it.
They're not hiding it, and it's so widespread that the infection is obvious.
Yep.
It's sort of like people with the plague have the buboes on their armpits and crotch, the big black source. It's impossible to miss.
And that's a good analogy.
Thanks. I like bringing things back to diseases when it's stuff I hate.
Kind of gross, but you're not wrong.
Yeah, well, you know.
And it also, at this time, 20 years ago, is where you finally got into a part. Because it started in the 80s, Jack, and by the time you and I are getting ready to graduate high school in the 90s, you need to go to college.
Yeah.
Well, why? Well, because that's where we tell you how to behave.
Yeah, in the 80s, we saw it with participation awards.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you showed up, here's your ribbon, because we don't want anybody to feel left out. Well, it's so much more pernicious now. Back then, it was a lot more subtle, and now it's just right there. It's right in front of you, and you're not allowed to look at it and be like, look at that.
Before the big push for everyone to go to college, they had to be very careful what they taught in high schools because kids couldn't get away from it. In college, what they do is like, hey, this is optional. By the way, you have to take this women's studies class. You have to take this racial studies class. And so you force these kids into this while putting them in massive debt and force this indoctrination on them as part of their general curriculum.
Yep.
Because they couldn't do it in high schools because parents would have lost their shit.
Yeah. I can't even count how many worthless electives I had to take. Yeah. My ethnic studies class was Canadian studies.
Nice.
Because I'm sneaky like that. But everybody had to take an ethnic studies class. You had to take like psychology, which of course, and sociology, and they're all skewed from certain perspectives. Sociology is such a scam anyway. Could be useful, but they direct it in a specific way. And a lot of my history classes were all about how bad America was. This is like the mid 90s.
Yeah.
Like 95, 96. It's so much worse now.
Sorry about that really loud Jack there for a second, guys. Sorry about that.
Was I really loud?
You got real loud for like half a second.
Oh, I don't know what happened there.
No big deal. Shit happens with audio. We can't control everything. Um, he is too smart not to get this. He's too smart not to get this.
I think he's trying to hedge a little.
Rogue Thought, thank you. Do you think the ACLU would stand up for neo-Nazi rallies today? I used this as an example of just how free speech was. Thanks for the stream. Well, thank you for the donation. And no, they've come out and said they won't.
Yeah.
The ACLU, what was it, 2-3 years ago, Jack? They came out and said they're no longer standing up for free speech when it's something that they find abhorrent.
Yeah.
So,
as I recall, it was caused by Charlottesville or something.
It might have been, but their declaration of it was delayed. Because Charlottesville's 2017, right?
Yeah, but it was because of stuff like that they didn't want to. It was too hot button for them because they're a bunch of pussies now.
It used to be the only thing that I appreciated the ACLU for was their stance on free speech. And then they came out and said that. So now they're completely worthless.
Yeah. It's like the ADL.
Okay.
Oh.
Aren't parents themselves also a big part of the problem?
Yes.
Well, I suppose in some cases that parents, but I think like the parents are just generally not aware of what their kids are being taught.
See, this is where I disagree. I don't think parents are that blind to what the kids are being taught these days. Maybe 10 or 20 years ago, sure. These days, how the fuck would they know? Maybe in high school, they don't know what is being taught. In colleges, the parents went through it.
Well, yeah, the fact, I think they're blind to it because they've already been subjected to a previous edition of the brainwashing. It's like computer updates.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, oh, it wasn't that bad when I was in school.
Except for it was, and they just didn't pay attention.
Yeah, they just didn't notice it because it was more sinister than.
It's just an elective that you have to take.
Yeah.
All right.
Or what they're not being taught.
They're letting the kids think that they're equal.
Got to stop him right there because I've never wanted to hug Bill Maher more.
Ew.
This is a major problem in schooling. The kids aren't equal. They're dumb and they're there to learn. That's how they should be treated. You are a pupil. Shut up. You're not that smart. However, the problem is what we're teaching them is dumb.
Well,
and a lot of it is, I mean, you indoctrinate these kids young, and we've seen it now, the transgender thing being taught as young as preschool.
Yep.
What do you think that kid is going to be like when he gets into college?
If he survives his monkeypox, I don't know.
Is he going to is he even going to need to be indoctrinated?
Probably not. These kids are all going to rat their parents out to the state for an extra serving of rations or something. Like, you're going to get an iPod if you rat your parents out for their wrong thing.
I mean, yeah. Let me give you an example that a friend of mine told me, which his daughters go to college go to high school in the Bay Area, and he was asking them like, well, so who are the first few presidents of the United States? They could name Washington, and I said, well, what do you know about him? Well, he was a slave owner. What else?
Right. Exactly.
Nothing.
Right.
True. I mean, that's what they're teaching kids. The founding fought, well, they owned slaves. Yeah, but you do understand what else they did, right? That America didn't happen by accident, that these men were willing to give up their lives to tell the Brits to go fuck themselves, to start the great American experiment. But it wasn't just like they threw a bunch of shit at the wall. They were learned men.
Yeah, these were not stupid idiots. They tried to make them sound like they were like hillbilly farmers.
Mm-hmm.
And these were all pretty intelligent people that were well read. They could speak other languages most often. They knew what was going on. It's just embarrassing how stupid our kids are.
Well, look at what they're being taught. I mean, That is what they're taught about Washington. If you go to Monticello now, all you hear about is what a slave owner Jefferson was. Forget the Declaration of Independence. That's unimportant. That's entirely unimportant. What you need to know about Jefferson is that he had slaves and he had sex with one of them.
You mean the Sally Hemings, who was his wife's half sister?
Yeah,
Who looked a lot like her. Yeah, that might be a bit of a factor in there.
and that's all they teach, and that's at Monticello. That's at Jefferson's home.
Man, it's ridiculous.
Imagine what they're teaching in schools about Jefferson. You don't need to know anything about the power of the government and the church working together being the greatest threat to liberty. No, you don't need to know that. What you need to know is he banged a slave. For fuck's sake.
I mean, maybe if they had video.
Right.
Like, okay, that's maybe you should know more than that. You know, yeah.
Yeah, that is the woke mind virus. Exactly.
And see, this is another one. Do you hear him, Jack? They're clapping. This I'm so confused by his audience during this show.
Yeah, I am too. Are these all like fans of Elon?
I'm guessing. Anyway.
No, exactly. It's like, you know, slavery is obviously a horrific institution, but we should still know more about George Washington than that.
And by the way, one that was practiced all over the world
yes.
forever, since the beginning of time, by every race,
Yes.
including people of color. I'm sorry to tell you that. It's huge in the Bible.
Absolutely. So
Bible loves it.
we're
Really?
Yes, they're quite strict about, like, you know, don't take someone else's slave and that kind of thing.
Right, but no one ever says just don't do it.
They don't.
true.
At no point does it say slavery is bad in the Bible.
No.
They do not condemn it at all. They just so it's
But Twitter is not doing bad, right? I mean, I saw today that Tucker Carlson recently fired.
Did you see
were
this
just on his show and he lost his job? So
Did you see the stuff about Tucker? What he's about to talk about?
I don't know. I don't know what he's going to talk about.
Yeah, your phone just got really loud again. Hang on.
but
hopefully,
what are you, the angel of death? You go
yeah, no,
around
exactly. I'm not the typhoid Mary of talk shows.
But
For some reason, people
but
just get fired out.
his rant yesterday or today on Twitter
I think it was yesterday or something. Or
it did
a couple
more
days ago?
than every cable news monologue or
Yeah.
something like that. Is that right?
Well,
Not only
What?
are we still here?
Yeah? Are you?
Yeah, why are we getting an F?
I don't know.
RIP, FF, wow, LOL busted. Off Rumble. Oh, did we get booted off YouTube? Uh-oh.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Stream unavailable. Suspended for policy violations.
What? I will deal with that later. All right, so we're over on Rumble only. Hi, Rumble folks. Keep your name. Thank you. Probably for what policy violations?
Probably this video.
Nah, couldn't be that.
Or were we promoting too much free speech? Did we talk a little too much history?
Let's see. I have nothing. It's not showing me any reason that I'm in trouble. Let's see if they emailed me. Live stream copyright notice.
Told you.
Interesting. And it was a copyright match. You motherfuckers. It wasn't even HBO that did it.
Nope. It was they didn't want this video being
I don't give a
shown.
fuck. I'm gonna keep going.
All right. Real quick. Thank you, Travis Gardner. We're either going to a Maoist cultural revolution or a right-wing revolution that's going to make the collapse of the Weimar Republic look like a picnic with Gen Z. I think we are headed for some sort of confrontation, but I don't know. I don't know if people are motivated enough to stop the commies at this point. People are pretty fucking lazy.
Yeah, so I'm not in trouble over there. They just took it down because it content matched.
Oh,
They can go fuck themselves. I
so
don't even give a shit.
that's fucking dumb. As long as you don't get a strike, that's what matters.
Yeah, no strike on it because it, like I said, didn't come from HBO. It's YouTube's crappy system.
Oh, they're saying we're back on.
Because it's paused. As soon as I unpause it, you know what? I actually need to turn it off on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Because if I don't, I will end up with a strike over this. I've been down this road before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so hang on. I got to go over to YouTube Studio. We'll pick back up with this in just a second there, guys. Fuck. I don't even remember how to get to your studio on YouTube. Fuck.
You have to contact a wizard, and I'll give you an address that you can make a donation to. And it'll look suspiciously like my Streamlabs link, but it requires money.
How do I get to this stupid fucking thing? To those of you who are watching on YouTube, please go over to the other channel because fuck
Rumbles.
YouTube.
So isn't it under YouTube Studio?
Yeah, but where?
Hold on.
Where's the fuck. Oh, wait, I think I found it. Did I? Yeah, there we go. All right. So we are going to have to end this stream. Sorry, guys.
Sorry,
Love you.
YouTube people.
You can contact YouTube, tell them to go fuck themselves, and we'll see you on Rumble, guys. And go fuck yourselves, YouTube. There we go.